Welcome back to Movies for You. Today, I'll be recapping a recent horror movie titled THRASH. This movie is absolutely insane and focuses on a group of people trying to survive a deadly shark attack during a massive hurricane. Spoiler warning, let's get into. The movie begins with a girl named Dakota who lives at Anivil. Her dad died some years back, and her mother recently passed away. Dakota wanted some food, so she decided to get some at a grocery store despite the rain. She noticed that everyone were evacuating the city due to the weather forecast. This made her fall into shock and had trouble breathing. Realizing something is seriously wrong, Dakota turns back home, bumping into her neighbor. He warns her the city isn't safe and tells her to leave with him, but she refused and returned home instead. Elsewhere, 3 kids Ron, Dee, and Will are swimming in a river. After a while, their father, Mr. Olson, shows up and angrily scolds them, warning that the river could be dangerous. The town's meat packing plant, a truck came in to offload some meat for the town. And at this same time, an employee, Lisa, who just closed from her work, was headed home. But then she came across the driver, asked him how long it would take to offload the meats, and then left for her home. On her way, she called her mom, talking to her about her baby, which is yet to come. Her mother reminded her that a very huge storm is headed for the town, telling her to leave immediately. But at this point, the interstate was closed, and there was no way she could leave the town. Meanwhile, Dale, a marine biologist who tags and tracks down sharks and sea creatures, and also Dakota's uncle, had found out that the storm headed for the town was a Category 6 hurricane. They called it Hurricane Henry. Dale quickly reached out to his niece to stay at Anivil, and he would come pick her up. During this, Mr. Wilson took his kids, who were adopted, home. The children tried to convince him so they could leave town due to the weather, but he scolded them, saying it was just a little bit of weather. Meanwhile, Lisa wanted to get some things at a store, but they were closed. When she got into the car, her mother called and warned her to go to higher ground. Then immediately the call disconnected. And at this point, Lisa was near childbirth. She plays her birth songs for comfort. Now, this is where things get interesting. Houses were already breaking down, and the walls protecting them from the hurricane shattered, as water flooded the town. Lisa, who was still on her way home, came across the driver from earlier. He told her to turn around because the road was blocked by a fallen tree. But before she could do anything, the water was already near, so she tried to squeeze through the tree but could not. The driver drove the truck forward, trying to make it to a street before the flood. Unfortunately, the truck wasn't fast enough, and he was washed away by the flood, including with Lisa's car. At Dakota's house, she ran to the window to check out the noise. Then she saw the hurricane heading towards her. Quickly, she ran upstairs as the room was flooded with water. Meanwhile, at Mr. Olson's house, the children had just found out about the storm. They tried to warn him, but he was just too stubborn to listen. Then the window cracked, and the house was flooded. Lisa, who was still drifting around in her car, came across a tree. The tree broke through her window and pinned her to the seat, so she couldn't move. Now, this is where the plot twist comes in. The meat truck from the factory budged into a statue, causing it to burst open, as blood from the meat flows out from the truck into the ocean, which attracted the bull shark. 2 men on a small boat heard Lisa screaming for help. One of them jumped out to go help her. When he found her, he tried to break the branches, but it was too strong. Then he signaled his partner, Jimmy, to get a cutter from the back of a truck. As Jimmy was returning from the truck with the cutter, he felt something in the water, and suddenly he was dragged into the water. His partner went looking for him. Then Jimmy came out from the river with his arm bitten off. It was the bull shark. His partner watched as it dragged Jimmy away. Meanwhile, this all happened in front of Dakota's house. She opened her window and warned the others about the sharks. Jimmy's partner tried to swim away from the sharks, but he was caught and the driver from the meat factory had just woken up. He tried to break the door open. When he came out, the sharks devoured him. Lisa's uncle, Dale, was still on his way. Mr. Olson and his wife went to get a snorkel from his car. As he reached out to open the truck, a shark bit his hand, and he was dragged into the water, and his wife was knocked away and eaten by the sharks. The children cried through the windows, but they were already gone. Lisa begged Dakota to come help her, but she was afraid, saying there were sharks in the water. Then Lisa told Dakota she was pregnant and she wouldn't want her son to die there without taking his first breath. After hearing this, Dakota decided to help her. She went downstairs to get a knife. From the window, she crawled outside the roof. Despite being careful, she fell into the water, but immediately climbed onto the car. When she got to Lisa, she used the knife to cut open the roof of the car and also the branches. Then she took Lisa to the house. Dale, who was monitoring the hurricane from his laptop, saw that the hurricane had already hit Dakota's house, and Nellie, a pregnant great white shark they had been hunting for many years, was already on her way at Mr. Nelson's house. The water level had increased to about half of the house, and the 3 children were on a pavement. They decided to close the door to prevent the bull sharks from entering the house. Dee was about to close the door when a shark entered the house. In fear, she lost her grip and was about to fall into the water. But at the critical moment, Dawn stepped in, saving her from the shark.
If you love movie recap like this video, please subscribe to support this channel. Thank you.
Dakota climbs on the roof to put a signal, just in case someone flies by. When she got back into the house, Lisa tells her that her contractions are more frequent, which means the baby would be coming out soon. Dale and his crew could no longer continue with their truck and had to use the boat at the back of the truck. The children remembered how Mr. Olson abused them and mocked him. Suddenly, Mr. Olson came out from the water and climbed the pavement. It turned out he survived the shark from earlier. He urged Ron to go get help for his arm, but he refused, saying the place is flooded, filled with sharks, with nobody to help them. Then Mr. Olson punched Ron, but Ron caught his fist and fought back. Dee could no longer take it and then kicked him in the face, causing him to fall into the water. And immediately, the sharks attacked him. Seizing the opportunity, Ron jumped into the water. He swam into the basement to get some supplies. He took some steak from the refrigerator and wanted to grab a gun from the wall. He pulled with all his strength, but the gun was tightly fastened to the wall. Meanwhile, a shark was already in the basement. He turned back, took a paint, and threw it on the floor to distract the shark, but his cloth was stuck. He pulled the cloth, swimming out of the basement. On his way, he grabbed a box on the roof and swam quickly while the shark pursued him. Luckily, he made it on time at Dakota's house. The water level had risen so much, so she decided to risk it and go get a boat she saw outside. Lisa asks her what she is going to do. Then she tells her she is going to get the boat. Lisa asked her what she is going to do about the sharks. Dakota replied, saying her uncle once said something about how vibrations mimic the distress signal of injured fish. Then she gathered all the tools that could vibrate, put them on, and placed them into a plastic bag. Using her headband, she put the torchlight into them. She pushes the vibrating bag into the river. Slowly, she entered into the water. Then suddenly, one of the bags used as bait for the shark was taken away. She became afraid but continued going. Then another bag was eaten by the shark. Scared, she increased her pace. Suddenly, her torch stopped working. She hit it several times before it could turn on. Then she saw a dead body and held her mouth not to scream. She began swimming fast, which attracted the sharks. She was surrounded, but as a shark wanted to attack her, they all suddenly swam away. It turned out they were running away from Nellie. Luckily, it did not attack Dakota, as she opened her leg to let it pass. Shocked, she swam towards the boat and entered it. Lisa, who was still in the house, shouted for help as the water level increased uncontrollably. Then suddenly, the whole house collapsed. She immediately swam out to the surface, but at this point, the baby was ready to be born. She had to do it in the water. And during the pain, she pushed and gave birth in the midst of sharks. She quickly swam towards a wooden block and laid the child on it, but the blood attracted the sharks. One of the sharks was about to attack her. She quickly broke a piece of wood beside her. As the shark got closer, she used the wood to stab the shark. Dakota, rushing towards her, saw a shark rushing towards Lisa from the back. She quickly took an arrow from the boat and aimed at the shark. At the critical moment, she shot the shark, saving Lisa and her baby. Meanwhile, Ron opened a bag of steak. They hoped something useful would be in the box, and when he opened it, he saw lots of explosives. They wrapped the explosives with the steak, using it as bait for the shark. They lit the explosives and threw it into the water, waiting for the sharks to grab it, but nothing happened, so they entered into the water to attract the sharks. When they saw it coming, they ran out, but Ron got stuck. He quickly took off his sweater. Just as the shark was about to attack Ron, he dodged it and swam back. Then the sharks ate the steak with the explosive. And this happened Dakota took the baby into the boat, but as Lisa was about to get in, the shark hit the boat, causing Dakota to fall back into the water. They were now surrounded by the sharks, but luckily Dale and his crew got there on time. Dale threw an electrifier into the water. The sharks were shocked and swam away. Just as they thought all was over, one more shark swam towards them to attack them, but this happened. And just like that, they were saved. They helped them into the boat. Lisa called her mom and showed her the new baby boy. Will saw the keys to the car in the remains of the sharks. And then they used the car to go out of town. The movie ends when Dale's friend found out that there is a bigger hurricane coming again. If you love movie recap like this video, please subscribe to support this channel. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.